Hi, this is Ms. Klemme, and welcome to Human Anatomy, the virtual version. Throughout the course of this PowerPoint, I'm going to show you some of the ins and outs and what's going to make this class successful. This class is, and this is an important distinction, is known as a blend ed class. There should be a little hyphen there. And what I mean by that is that it's not only just virtual, but it's also blended with physically being face-to-face in class. And I'll show you more about that as we progress through this PowerPoint. But the first thing that's going to make this class most successful is the Moodle page. And I know you guys are familiar with Moodle, but we're going to use it even more in a class like this because I don't see you every other day like most classes. If you've already gotten my letter, you should have known the enrollment code. If you haven't done so, make sure you do set this up as soon as possible. Now what we're going to do is I've actually made this little screenshot a link. So if I can just get the right cursor here. We're going to go to this page and I'll show you a little bit how to navigate the Moodle site. And so here we are waiting for the Moodle page to load. Now make sure you go to the Blend Ed courses, not the science courses. And as soon as that opens up, you'll see the two blended courses. Click on Virtual Human Anatomy and log in with your password. And here we have the screen, the main page for this course. Just to give you some, layout here, we're going to start with the middle of the page, and you can see that's where the bulk and important stuff happens. There will be a calendar that's updated, and you can check that whenever you'd like for major due dates. Not every single thing will be on there, just some major important deadlines. But then you can see I already have some various things for Unit 1 under those. So as you go scroll down, you can see more and more of those as the year progresses. Then if we go back up to the top, you can see over on the left that we have links for Google Docs. We'll be using that quite a bit. Below that is YouTube. We'll be using that for all these podcasts and videos that I make for the course. And then finally below that is a link for Crocodocs, and we're going to use that application for digital online text coding. But we'll get more into those later on as the course progresses. If you go to the other side, you'll notice I have a Twitter feed. You can definitely follow me. I suggest that you do, so I can post reminders. You can get them in real time right on your phone. Below that, I just have some quirky little science news that sometimes you get a pretty interesting article that may catch your attention. Below that, we have Skype. We'll be using that this year to establish virtual meetings and have review sessions and things like that. And we'll have a chance to practice with Skype hopefully later on in this first week of school. And below that, if you ever need to access School Fusion or something like that for a different course, there's your PHS homepage. So that gives you a basic understanding and layout of the Moodle page that we'll be using this year. And go back to the PowerPoint. In addition to Moodle, the second thing we'll be using the most is Google Docs. And so this is a screenshot for the login. This is linked straight from Moodle, just like the Crocodocs and the YouTube account. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this again, and hopefully it opens up for us. So we're just waiting for it to load, and here we go. So we're going to use our school email for our Google accounts. Please don't use any personal Gmail accounts you may have. That'll just make it personal, separate from schoolwork. So we're going to log in, and hopefully it loads in just a second here. And then I'll just show you some basic things on my Google account. I have a lot of other stuff on here. You guys probably won't have as much as me. But this is the home base, and you can see I have a lot of different documents from a lot of different things. But over here on the left, you'll notice that I have different folders. I have a folder for Key Club, and I have a folder for your class, too. 2. And I'll be putting most of the class documents on here. in this anatomy folder. You can see I have subfolders for the different units and just some basic documents as well. This is where you will be submitting most of your assignments. So you'll have to create your Google account. If you want to upload assignments, there's the upload button. If you want to create your own assignment, if I tell you to create some sort of report or something, here's your options for that. However, the important thing to know is that you need to share these documents with me or I cannot look at them. In order to do that, you can always go to settings. Actually, let me do this. I'll go to, let's see, the welcome letter. And hopefully that, here we go, opens up. And you guys already received this. If I want to share this with all of you, I have to go to the share button. It's a little bit slow here, loading. Kind of taking a while to load, but the fact of the matter is if you want to share a document with me or with another person in this class, say you, there it is, say you had to do a group project, you have to share via email, and you can add their email addresses and then you can pick what kind of access you want them to have. So you can see this document I shared with Mrs. Curtis. She can comment on it if you want to say she can edit it and make changes, or if you just want her to be able to view it. Okay, for the purposes of this course, you probably want to make them all editable for everyone, especially me, because then I can add comments and things like that to it. So we're going to just X out of this Google Docs. We'll have more practice, just like everything else, later. We're going to close both of those tabs and go back to the PowerPoint. So those are the two main things that we'll be using in this course, is Moodle and Google. There are some other accounts. Do I ask you that you have to have a Twitter? No. This does show up, my feed shows up on Moodle, so if you just want to follow me there, that's fine. This is my username for YouTube. This is my channel. All of the videos will be posted on YouTube under that name. And then there's my Skype account name as well, which we'll set up later on. Okay, now let's get into some nuts and bolts about the course and how it's laid out. So in a traditional course, we have units, and you spend a few weeks on a unit, and then eventually you have the test. In this course, it's the same type of concept, but we're going to give them a little bit different terminology. We're going to say that units are divided into sessions, and sessions correlate to 1 week's worth of work. So you can see how I align those up on the PowerPoint. And it culminates in a unit assessment. Does every week, or does every unit have just 3 sessions? No. It's going to vary unit by unit. But here's some important things to keep in mind that are a little bit different than your regular face-to-face class. First of all, each session is due on Saturday at midnight. All the assignments have to be submitted by then to be considered on time. If you say, oh, I forgot, I had a soccer game all day, a soccer tournament, but wait, I can turn them in still by Sunday at noon, then you'll just get a tardy. And you get 2 tardies before I officially keep track of those. So on the 3rd tardy, you'll be receiving a detention. So keep that in mind. There's a little bit of a cushion there for you to submit your work. However, if you didn't do it by Sunday, it's going to be considered late. And no matter when it's turned in, after that Sunday noon deadline, it's a 50% deduction. And of course, you'll be finding yourself in resource with me. So keep that in mind. The tardies work a little bit different in this type of class. In addition to completing all of your sessions on time by Saturday at midnight, every 5th class, which usually equates to most Fridays, because if you think, okay, if we have class Tuesday, Thursday, then Monday, Wednesday, Friday is the 5th class. That's what we'll reserve for doing labs and tests and quizzes and such in person, face-to-face. We'll do dissections on that day, things of that nature. If you know you cannot make these sessions, you need to let me know prior to, because these will be planned out. These are the ones you have to go to. Okay. In addition, there may be some days where it just works out that we have to meet a different day. So you really need to get in the habit of working during that scheduled B1 class, because I may say 2 days prior, hey, we need to have a meeting face-to-face. Everyone needs to be there. So just plan accordingly and be on your toes and be flexible with everything. Now here's some more important things I do want to bring to your attention, because they're going to require you to actually come into school or to come into class to do. The first of all is the session work that's submitted late, that's submitted on the Sunday or later than Sunday at noon. You'll be finding yourself in resource the next day. If your quiz scores are always lower or test scores are always lower than a C-, you'll be required to be in face-to-face classes, B1 with me. First of all, you'll be doing error analysis, whether it's on a test or on a quiz. And before the next unit, that unit assessment, if it's a quiz, you'll be in class with me reviewing. If your assessment scores have been low, you'll be in the next 2 classes with me reviewing. And finally, the last red flag, if your course grade is lower than, I believe that's a D, you will be with me, no questions asked in class until your grade is raised. And as these situations arise, you can always ask me questions too. But hopefully they won't. All right, we're almost finished. Bottom line, I went through the course layout, I went through Moodle, I went through Google, but the bottom line is this: you have to constantly be in communication with the people in this course and me as the instructor. You have to constantly be checking your email. I'll send out individual emails, I'll send out group emails. If you can't be in check with your email all the time, you guys have your phones on you all the time. You can check Twitter, maybe I sent out a reminder there. And ultimately on Moodle as well. So you constantly have to be checking all of these sources to make sure that you stay on top of what you need to accomplish and what you need to do to be successful in here. Because really, in a blend ed course, you're given a lot of freedom. And you really need to figure out a way that works for you to stay on the ball and to get your session work done on time, to get your good grades that you want to earn. I suggest starting out treating it as a traditional class. Work with somebody you work well with. Maybe not your best friend, but someone you can get stuff done with in an efficient and effective manner. And maybe you want to start by working every B1 until you kind of get a feel of the course. You know, you can always come to my room and work on stuff during that time. You can always go to the library. Okay? So you have a choice. You can either be like this guy right here, you can be studying and you can be getting that work done and doing good work, or you'll end up like this guy. So let's not be like him. So I hope you enjoyed this podcast. I hope you found it helpful. And if you have any questions, please contact me. Thanks.